Do you know questions?
I'm just going to...
All right, yeah, Sam.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So, we thought we'd do something a little bit different because everyone's doing the same AI stuff this year. Obviously, I'm over. I've been moved on gardening leave this season. Yeah, but taking over with one of my best friends, someone who I know very, very well, Mr. Jordan Spencer. So, this season, mate, what does a team under Jordan Spencer look like at Collegians?
I think there will be a slight change in terms of the way Collegians play. Just in terms of, I think kind of the main thing for me is like I just want to win games of football. After speaking to a lot of lads, obviously we have got a core group that are kind of at the older end now, and have been around this league, Huddersfield District League, West Yorkshire League for a while, and it's like we said, like you enjoy football by winning games. That's the long and short of it. So yeah, kind of we will set up depending on what players we have available and what squad we build in pre-season, and we'll play the best way that's gonna help those guys on the pitch.
So, knowing the Yal Supreme inside out, 17 teams in the league, 32 games, and it's a very physical league. What are you doing in pre-season from a physical point of view to ensure that they're up to scratch and they're ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just touching on the 17 teams, I think that's kind of, it's probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in amateur football. The fact that there's 17 teams competing in a league that 90% of pitches don't have floodlights. So you've got no midweek games. You've got 3 cups. You're looking at probably a 40-game season on basing just that you're playing Saturdays, which to me is pretty crazy. Kind of speaking from playing a lot of games a season, it's tough on the body, it's tough for the lads, and when you've got lads that don't get any money in terms of help, in terms of expenses for travelling all over, it's a big commitment. And kind of when I've been speaking to the lads, that is kind of one of the things I'm expecting is commitment needs to be high this season. We need to have high availability. We want a 20-man squad just to ensure that we've covered for holidays and we've got good competition for places, really.
Yeah, I think on that 17 team league, you look at step 6, which has more, but they start earlier.
Well, Northwest Counties Division 1 last year, I think there were 18 teams in that, so one more team.
And however, what we like to do in the YAL is we'll start middle of August. We'll play about 9 league games between August and November, fit all cups in, and then play the rest in April, which is class. But we can't control that. No. That's not in our guys. So on that, what's yours? Just from out, not an outsider, but watching on from last season and building on, what we can deem as a very successful season for the club in its entirety, and the first season for the first team in that division. How are you going to build on that?
Yeah, I think obviously Sam over the last couple of years, previous manager, he did a fantastic job in terms of getting the club the highest it's ever been, building out into 4 teams. Like, the club's growing unimaginable at the moment. It's growing beyond where anybody expected the club to be 3 years ago, and I think a lot of that work down is to Sam. And he's really set good foundations. I think now what we need to do is we need to, especially as a first team, we need to kick on. And kind of from an outside point of view, watching some games at the end of the last year, one thing I think we need to be doing is we need to be a bit nasty. I think we were probably too nice to play against at times, and
we did win the Fair Play Award this year, and I think that says a lot.
Yeah, which is something we won't be winning again. I can guarantee that. I guess I just don't think fair play is anything that comes to mind with me.
No.
But yeah, we just need to build on that now in terms of being a kind of a stronger group together, making sure that we're all pushed in the same direction, and adding a bit more talent on into the squad. Like, we were mid-table last year. like we need to progress, and by that we need to be bringing in a few better players just to add to the group and help build us forward.
Yeah. Honestly, winning that Fair Play Award's the most shocking thing I've seen in nearly 8 years. I'm not going to go into details from last. It's a one-season wonder, and I imagine there's probably a few gaffers watching this thinking, how's that prick got a Fair Play Award? But it can't be all this good. But anyway, moving on. We talk about things on the pitch, but what about off the pitch?
Yeah.
We're sat here looking behind us and the plans that we've got going forward.
Yeah, off the field, I mean, to be honest, if I was a player in kind of amateur league, step 7 around this area, looking in, like there's not many clubs around here that's in a better position to grow. You've got this facility now, which is kind of crazy in terms of where Collegians were 3 years ago. We've now got this. We've got a bar which is kind of getting refurbed before the season starts, and then we've got plans to obviously get a brand new pitch down, improve the facilities down here, and kind of make this a real home for all 4 teams, playing week in, week out, getting cup finals down here. There's huge plans, and kind of that's half of the reason I wanted to get involved, to be honest.
I'm 100%, and not just knowing the inner workings of what's going on there's a real, for about 127 years we had nowhere. And then, due to the merger with Lindley, we've got to this place, which is exciting, and it allows us to bring in more players. It brings in coaches like yourself, and I think a lot of clubs like to throw that around, that we're going to have step 6 facilities and you can come to us, and it kind of traps them and moving on. I know that, Marsden tried that and they could never do anything. And I know Brighouse Town are doing that at the moment, but they're in like Division 7 at fucking West Yorkshire League, all that kind of stuff. So bless them, But ultimately here, there is the bones to be part of something which is going to be really the heart of the community within Birchincliff and Lindley and right off Ainley Top. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah, we've got a loyal group of people that come down week in, week out, watching all 4 teams, and when this pitch is redone up here, we've got facilities to be moving up and moving on at the Yal. I think that it's only going to attract more people, and kind of the location of it is absolutely perfect, to be honest.
So, just, what do you say? I know there were a few comments last year. We had a bad start. What do you say to them people who called us a sinking ship, and to those people who I think maybe, just due to who we've been, like 3 years ago, to who we are now, what do you say to those people who doubt Collegians this season?
Yeah, I mean, they'll be brave to doubt us this year, because, I'm not here to do anything else but compete at top of league. And it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, you lose 3 or 4 games, everybody thinks you're the worst team in the league. You win 3 or 4 games, everybody's like, fucking hell, like, we don't want to play them at the moment. So it's one of them things, like, I've got plenty of things to say about other clubs, and other clubs have got plenty of things to say about Collegians, and it's one of them where come May next year, once you've played the season, wherever you finish in that league table, that's how you performed. It's a long season, and kind of the tale doesn't lie at the end of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. What just to kind of wrap it up, is what games are you looking forward to? Any individuals that stick in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple, to be fair. One game I'm looking forward to is to Shelley. Obviously, that's where we play our first and second team games at home up there at the moment. So it'd be good to play those guys, and it'll be interesting to, the likes of Shelley and the likes of Mars, and I'm just looking forward to playing them. Just down to the fact really that there's mass changes at both clubs, so it'll be interesting to see what they're like. Obviously, I think Marsden's going to have quite a few young lads in from the Emily Academy, so it'll be interesting to see how those guys get on playing in this league. And then Shelley, obviously, I'd imagine they're going to have a mass overall, because obviously there's no bones about it. They want to go to step 6 and they finish 3rd in Premier Division, so they're going to need to overhaul their squad quite a lot, and I imagine that's probably what Dom's plans are to do.
Yeah, I think the Marsden one's always going to be a good one. It'll be interesting. I think with Shelley, obviously Dom, I've got a lot of respect and time for Dom. And they won a Sheffield County Cup last year, but Dom's going to want to bring in a lot of his Greetland boys, and how that works out, that's for him to work out, because it's a winning team, and there's a lot of moving parts there.
It's a winning team, but if you want to progress, it's like it's a winning team, but they finished third in the league. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like let's be honest, South Leeds that finished above them, that were their reserve side.
It's always a strong side, South Leeds.
It is a strong side, but that's their reserve side, and obviously they're wanting to be in a division where their first team is. You need to improve.
Yeah, no, definitely, and So on that is, just tell us when pre-season starts.
Yeah, obviously this is going to go out Friday, so pre-season will start on the coming Monday. We're trading Monday, Wednesday for a couple of weeks for first team and any lads that want to be involved in the first team, and then kind of after that mid-July, with every other team involved. So yeah, if you do want to get involved, it's a great time to be involved, and we want to improve all 4 teams just as well as the first team, and grow the club on the field as well as off it. So if you do want to get involved, just kind of reach out to us on our socials. And one of the management team will come back to you.
Cheers, Ben.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you.
Whoa.
Heavy, mate.
All right, that wasn't it? How long?